on our way to the hospital now. So when we were booking in at the hospital, we had a student nurse who was doing her placement who came along and was shadowing the nurse who was booking me in. So Rosie, the student nurse, did my admissions checklist, and it was very funny because they ask when you last had something to drink, when you last had something to eat. Now, of course, we've been doing the milk diet, so we haven't had anything to eat in a week. And when she said, when did you last have something to eat? And automatically I said, a week ago. And she was like, what? And the nurse who was with her had to explain to her that the bariatric patients do the milk diet, and that what we mean is we haven't eaten solid food for a week, but they're asking when we last had our last glass of milk, which was the day before. So that was very funny. Another thing that I was going to mention was, before we went to the hospital for the morning of my surgery, I could not get my tongue bar out of my mouth. So when we got to the hospital and we were checking in, we explained to them that I hadn't been able to get it out. And so that's one of the things on the checklist that Rosie went through. And it's like, have you got any jewellery on? So, like my rings, took those off, that was fine, gave them to Debbie to look after. And then I said, well, I have also got my tongue piercing. I've been trying to get it out all morning and I can't. And like, I don't mind if they have to cut it or whatever when I'm in surgery, it's fine. And the nurse who was supervising Rosie, she was a little bit concerned, and she was, we need to tell the anaesthetist. And she said to Rosie was, I think, very new student nurse, and she was quite shy and quiet, and the nurse who was with her said, Rosie, this is going to be a job for you. I want you to practice talking to the anaesthetist, because this is the sort of thing that you're going to need to talk to doctors about, and we need to try and kind of build you up and get your confidence up a little bit so that you can talk with the doctors about things like this. But it was fine. When the anaesthetist came to see me, she said it wasn't a problem, and it's more that they tend to worry if someone's got anything loose in their mouth, like they're talking about like loose teeth or crowns or anything, that they don't want anything to get knocked and for you to accidentally swallow or inhale it. Now, I can't get my tongue bar out, so it's not going anywhere. I'm not going to accidentally swallow it. So it was all fine, but the nurses did just have a little moment with that. So I was on a 6-bed ward in the hospital, and normally that ward is just for bariatric patients. It's normally a mixed sex ward, and everyone on the ward is there because they've had bariatric surgery. But when I was there, it was only me and my friend Sammy who were bariatric patients, and there were other ladies there who were there for other various different bits and pieces. And the staff were all really nice. When they started their shift, they all came and introduced themselves to us, let us know that they were starting their shift and taking over our care, and they all came and said goodbye at the end of their shift as well, let us know whether they'd see us the following day or wish us luck if they weren't going to see us again before we were discharged. And really, they were all really friendly. They all really wanted to kind of help you make sure you're comfortable. They came round and asked what your pain was like, if you needed more pain meds, and the hospital is super clean. They have different members of staff doing lots and lots of different jobs all the time. They have certain members of staff who are like nursing staff and healthcare assistants, checking OBS and doing bits and pieces like that. They have sort of, I suppose they're like orderlies who do things like making beds and various different things. Now, as soon as you got out of your bed to do anything, go to the loo, go and have a wash, anything, they changed your bed. You had fresh sheets on your bed. I'm like, yeah, all you had to do was leave your bed for 5 minutes, and you came back to find that they'd stripped all the sheets off and completely made up a fresh bed for you. It was really, really strange. So they would literally any opportunity that you got out of bed, you had fresh bedding put on your bed. They had all sorts of different bits and pieces. If you'd forgotten your toiletries or you needed extras or anything, they had you have a box of tissues to put on your table. They had toothbrushes and toothpaste, little mini toothpastes, little individually wrapped little soaps, sachets of shampoo. I think they also had hairbrushes and stuff like that as well. So yeah, if you needed a change of clothes, you could ask for hospital pyjamas instead of the gown if you hadn't brought your own nightwear with you. I think I mentioned before about the slipper socks, and yeah, it was just excellent care, really. Couldn't fault it. And they have on the kind of corridor, you normally have a corridor and there's a couple of wards off the same corridor, and so on that corridor they have like a little like mini kitchen. So I suppose food is prepared in bulk in the main kitchen, and that's then sent up to the ward, and they they heat food, or that they keep it hot or reheat it, make sure it's all the right temperature, prep any specialist bits and pieces. The people that worked in the kitchen came round and asked if you wanted drinks, if you wanted teas or coffees. If you had a visitor with you, they often asked if the visitor wanted a tea or coffee, and you could ask for, we tended to have a mug of hot water because we'd had our peppermint tea bags, but they did have peppermint tea bags as well if you didn't have your own. They had ones that you could use, and they also bring around things like glasses of milk, glasses of juice. So the ward was very well equipped. Several shower rooms and toilets. The only thing I thought was a bit weird was that the toilet, I don't know if maybe it was just the toilet that I happened to use, but the toilet did not have grab rails around the toilet. So like in disabled loos, you have grab rails so that you can kind of lower yourself down onto the toilet easier and stuff. So the toilet, it was a big shower room with a toilet and a sink, like a wet room, but the toilet did not have grab rails around it, and that would have been so much easier, because I felt like when I was sat on the toilet, obviously I have incisions. Most of my incisions are on my left side, and then I have a couple lower down on the right as well. But I found twisting to clean myself up after going to the toilet was really difficult, and I was a bit scared to twist because I was worried about pulling on any of my incisions. And if I'd had a grab rail there next to the toilet, I think I would have felt like I could have kind of solidified myself and sort of made myself a bit more stable. But yeah, that was really the only thing that just surprised me a bit, was that toilet didn't have that. Maybe one of the other toilets on the corridor, I used the toilet that was actually on the door to it, was on the ward, and then there were a couple of other toilets and shower rooms that were along the corridor, and I didn't go in any of those ones. Maybe those ones might have had them, but the one that I didn't. And yeah, that was a bit strange, but otherwise, yeah, everything was really good. They had fans to put next to the bed, so that was great as well. I had one of those on me the first night. I was so hot when I came back from surgery, so I had the fan on like its lowest setting all night, pointed at me. That was great. I very quickly got them to take the slipper socks off because just my feet and my legs were just so hot. And actually I then got my wife to bring me in slippers the next day because I just couldn't bear to have the slipper socks on. I was just too hot. But yeah, so that was that. So it's the morning after my surgery. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning now. I was very groggy when I came back to the ward yesterday evening. Had plenty of painkillers, and they gave me a IV fluid drip because my blood pressure was a bit low. Woke up quite a lot during the night, but each time I woke up in the night I was really wide awake, so it took me a little while to fall back to sleep again. Been awake since 6 o'clock this morning now. Debbie got here about 10 and she helped me get changed into my pyjamas, and I've just had a cup of peppermint tea, and yeah, just trying to walk around a little bit. Quite tired because I didn't get much sleep, so hopefully I'll be able to have a nap a little bit later. It's 6 o'clock now on the day after my surgery, feeling much better now. I've just eaten my little ramekins of puree. I had tuna mayo, mashed potato and broccoli, and I am just resting at the moment, gonna watch some YouTube videos, and I think they're gonna bring me a hot water in a minute to put my peppermint tea bags in. Just getting in the car to go home now. It's really nice to be out in the fresh air and the sun is shining. We're back home now. Look, the daffodils are coming out. Can you see? miss Mummy? Did you miss Mummy? Did you miss Mummy? Did you miss Mummy? I know, Mummy loves you.